Hey there, craft enthusiasts! I recently stumbled upon this awesome astronaut lamp at HomeGoods, and it got me thinking, why not take the creativity up a notch? That's when the idea of a space monkey lamp was born, inspired by the incredible story of the first chimpanzee in space named Ham. So buckle up, it's crafting time. First things first, let's build a strong skeleton for our space monkey. Since our cosmic buddy might be a bit top-heavy, I'm combining 4 wires instead of just 1. You can check out all the info about the materials in the description. I am using zip ties and Poxy to make sure our monkey stays well supported. At the same time, I'm making sure to keep the same dimensions as our original astronaut lamp. After wrapping the figure in foil and adding some for the feet, I'm ready to apply clay. For the first layer, I'm using Sculpey III. While it's easy to work with, the final result is delicate and can break easily. For the rest of the project, I'll be using Sculpey Premo. Although it's harder to work with, it becomes exceptionally durable after baking. Adding wrinkles to the spacesuit makes it look more realistic by mimicking how real suits crease and fold during movement. Because even intergalactic primates need to look their best. Even though the original design didn't include knee pads, I spotted a cool one in another image. And guess what? Our astronaut monkey is now showing off some stylish knee protection. I added a clay piece with a cutout circle, smoothly blending the edges for a neat final result. For the boots, I started by attaching a long strip of clay to the front of the boots, blended it seamlessly on one side, to give that sturdy front vibe. Perfect for walking on other planets with those unique landscapes. Then, to finish up the boots, I added a few details like patterns and textures, not just for the sci-fi look, but they also serve a purpose in the design. For many artists, sculpting hands is often considered the trickiest and least satisfying part of the process. Surprisingly, in most cases, I enjoy sculpting hands, and for this project, it's even easier. Since I'm sculpting the glove, I don't need to go all out on details, saving both time and preserving my mental well-being. The right hand will hold the lamp. Since this clay is extremely durable after baking, there's no need to incorporate an additional armature for support. Just clay will do. Again, by adding a strip of clay and blending one side, I can easily create the effect that the ends of the fingers are made from rubber. For the base of the helmet, I just added 2 clay noodles for now. I can always add more in the future to make sure the helmet is secure. After some research, I couldn't find any unified design for the astronaut backpack. I guess it means I have the freedom to create any style I like, as long as it looks good and is hopefully practical. I started by crafting a rectangular piece of clay for the main body, and after that, I added a few small shapes to enhance its appearance. Of course, our space explorer needs a controller to operate all the fancy gears inside the backpack. Before I forget, I added thin bands around both arms and legs as per the original design. For the backpack, I just sculpted 5 long strips of clay and attached them to each corner of the backpack and the controller in front, adding both structural support and visual appeal to the astronaut's gear. Since the backpack shares the same white color as the astronaut suit and is obviously located on the back, there's no need to overload it with intricate details, as long as the final design looks good. I strategically added several stripes of varying thicknesses, trying to provide visual interest without overshadowing the overall design. As a complement to the complete design, I also added a few buttons serving both functional and decorative purposes. This can help with a balance between simplicity and visual appeal that complements the astronaut's overall look. Certainly, there is no harm in adding a few extra hoses. I just used 2 short armature pieces to connect them to different sections of the backpack. What made me stop and think was figuring out the best way to create hoses for the suit. After a few trial runs, I was surprised to find that simplicity often yields the best results. I crafted a few thick noodles and, with a careful touch, slowly rotated each side in the opposite direction, aiming to maintain consistent thickness without breaking the noodle. After a few attempts, I finally achieved the result I was looking for. I secured the hoses to the suit using small wire pieces, ensuring a good connection. For the connectors, I kept it simple and used just 2 pieces of clay. I didn't worry too much about getting it scientifically right. I just wanted it to look interesting and make sense. Now comes the big step of making our friend's head. I know it's going to be the main focus of the whole sculpture because we all tend to look at faces first. So, I took my time thinking about how to make it just right. This step is like laying the groundwork for all the facial magic that's about to happen. We're not diving into any details just yet. We're focused on building the basic shape of the head. In the next step, I am marking the placement of the eyes, nose, and mouth. This step sets the groundwork for the detailed features to come. Moving forward, I proceed to remove any excess clay to better define the major facial features, ensuring a more detailed and accurate representation. Monkeys have very distinguished characteristics like eyebrows and a nose, so I want to make them more visually pronounced. Adding a small amount of clay to the sculpted area serves the purpose of allowing me to carefully shape the facial impression according to my desired specifications, ensuring precision and attention to detail in capturing our monkey friend's distinctive features. The monkey's mouth is different from a human's. With my limited experience, it took me a few tries before I could accurately capture the unique shape of our furry friend's lips. I shaped the eye sockets by gently carving out spaces for the eyes, keeping in mind their size and placement as they are key to capturing the monkey's expression. I added small clay balls and carefully crafted the eyelids. During the refinement of the eyelids, I ensured a smooth and natural contour, taking my time to make precise adjustments until I achieved the desired lifelike appearance for the eyes. Time to add some character to our monkey's face with wrinkles. I started by adding thin lines of clay around the eyes to create that natural, aged look. Moving on to the forehead, I'm contemplating the monkey's expression, perhaps a hint of wisdom or mischief. It's more than just sculpting a face, it's about bringing our monkey to life. Sculpting wrinkles is like writing a mini biography on our monkey's face. Each line tells a tale, and you can witness the story unfold with every stroke. Monkey ears are much more defined compared to humans, requiring extra attention to get the proportions just right. I spent additional time shaping the clay to ensure accuracy. Utilizing small sculpting tools, I carefully defined the inner ear details, taking into account the visible folds and curves that are often present. Next, I attached the ears to the head, carefully considering their natural placement on either side. Following that, I blended the edges of each ear with additional clay, smoothing out any seams to create a seamless transition between the ears and the rest of the sculpture. After that, I can consider the head complete, hoping to capture the essence of the monkey's face, wrinkles and all, a crucial element in expressing its character, age, and unique features. Once the clay dried, I simply applied black primer to prepare for painting. For the helmet, I utilized a plain Christmas glass ball as the perfect-sized base. I layered it with clay, seamlessly blending the layers. Afterward, I incorporated a few additional parts. The trick is that after baking the clay, I can simply break the ball, and in the end, I'll have a perfectly shaped helmet. Since our helmet will feature an open visor, revealing the monkey's head, I added the visor to the top of the helmet. Of course, our space buddy needs oxygen, so I crafted a hose by rolling a sizable piece of clay and carving it to give it a realistic hose appearance. After that, I attached one end of the hose to the backpack and the other end I will glue to the helmet after the painting process. For the base, after applying Sculpey Bake and Bond, I added several pieces of clay by rolling it through my pasta machine and cutting it into appropriate sizes. I used my trusted sculpting tool to blend all of these pieces, creating the appearance of another planet's terrain. After that, I'm finally ready to paint. I had a bit of anxiety about getting the face colors right. Surprisingly, it was easier than expected. The trick is to apply several light color layers on top of each other, gradually building the desired color. It took me 5 layers of light brown to achieve the desired skin color effect. I also decided to give our friend a cigar. It helps represent him as a conqueror of space and emphasizes a sense of exploration and adventure. Off camera, I made small changes to the mouth so I could fit a cigar. By adding light brown spots, I was able to mimic the look of real skin more closely based on my reference image. I didn't pay attention to the fact that the white part of the eye, called the sclera, is actually dark or almost black in chimpanzees. After researching, I discovered that the iris color of chimpanzees can vary from light to dark brown, often exhibiting a vibrant orange hue. Therefore, I used the orange color to make the eyes stand out on the face. I learned a cool trick on how to create a cigar lid. Start by painting the lid end of the cigar in a bright red color. Following that, use the dry brushing method to apply a light gray color. Gently brush the gray color over the red, creating a realistic and textured effect on the cigar lid. After applying black primer, I painted the entire figure in white. For the knee pad, I used the same color as in the original image, and applied this color to a few other details as well. Colored connectors play a crucial role as visual aids for astronauts during the task of connecting and disconnecting hoses, with blue typically indicating the flow of coolants and red signifying the flow of oxygen. Astronauts wear thin bands around their arms and legs, often in orange or red for safety and visibility purposes. These bands help with quick identification and clear communication during space missions. I painted the tips of the fingers in black and applied gloss glaze to achieve a rubber effect. While I'm using black color, why not paint a few hoses on the back as well? The helmet visor is gold-coated to reflect and dissipate sunlight. It took me 5 coats of paint and clear gloss to achieve the desired glass effect. To enhance the base texture, I used Vallejo's earth texture, aiming for an alien terrain look. Initially, the brown color didn't feel alien enough, unless we're talking about Mars, so I decided to paint it black. While I could have added black paint from the start to save a step, sometimes you realize it only after the fact. After applying black paint to the entire base, I added a cosmic dust effect to the boots. Once the paint dried, I used dry brushing with progressively lighter shades of gray all over the base. Finally, it was time for the exciting assembly phase. I carefully attached his head and installed the helmet, ensuring it was perfectly in place. To add a touch of character and narrative, our intrepid friend received his well-deserved cigar, completing the ensemble with a hint of cosmic swagger. With this, we've reached the completion stage, ready to move on to capturing the glamour shots. A massive thank you to everyone who joined me on this intergalactic sculpting adventure. Until next time, keep crafting and reaching for the stars.